What's up, Audit fans? Dr. Amanda White here, and today I'm doing something totally different than what is on my channel. I bought myself the Freefly Movi cinema robot, which is a gimbal for using with a mobile phone. Now, a lot of you know that I do a lot of conference vlogs. So I go to conferences and I talk to interesting people, and I've recently started using my phone to actually do a lot of those interviews. And I've got the iPhone XR. In comparing all of the phones, this was, from an accountant's perspective, the most economical of the new phones that I could have got. What my brother, howdy out there to my brother there, suggested was the Moment lenses. So you can probably check out the Moment lenses on the Moment website, but they've got a wide lens, which is good when you want a bigger field of view, and they've got a 58mm tele lens. In this video, I'm actually going to talk about why the Movi and the iPhone XR with the Moment lenses is just not a great match. So if you're here for normal audit content, we'll be back to our regular programming pretty soon. If you're here for the gimbal review, then stay tuned. I did a lot of research before making this purchase. This is a pretty expensive gimbal. It's probably 3 times the price of other stuff, 2 to 3 times the price of other gimbals that you see online. But I liked the fact that it was a 2-hand. I saw lots of reviews on YouTube that said that it was great, that people were using it with the XS Max or with the iPhone XS with the counterweight system. And I thought, hey, I was heading to the States. This was the perfect time to pick one up. In using the gimbal, it is really, really easy to use. I found that putting my phone on it and balancing it with just my phone worked perfectly. However, where I ran into difficulties was adding one of my Moment lenses, specifically the wide lens, to the camera. With the tele lens, there wasn't any sort of a problem. So let me push the camera in a bit closer and I'll show you exactly what the issue becomes. It's got a nice little locking mechanism. I use a Peak Design bag and this thing fits in just perfectly. So balancing the camera is pretty easy. Oop, that's not well. As far as gimbals go, using it with just a phone, it is absolutely perfect. I have absolutely no issues with using the gimbal on its own. Now, when you add the 58mm tele lens, and if you're watching, yes, I am in my pajamas. All right, so the tele lens is quite heavy, and this phone, plus the case, plus a lens, is a payload of about 375 grams. And the Movi's meant to be able to handle weight of up to 500. And in balancing, no, I gotta go more this way. All right, so in balancing the tele lens, it seems to balance really nicely. And it moves really nicely. And in terms of the field of view, and I can show you some of what I can see here, but it's not going to be terribly exciting. In terms of the field of view, the motor does not get in the way at all with using the gimbal. However, it's a totally different story when we move to the wide, and let me show you. So, it looks balanced at this point, and it always falls forward. I see sometimes that, oh, actually it does. Tends to fall forward just because of the weight of it. All right, but when you turn this on, and I will press record on my camera here, what you'll notice in the shot is this motor ends up within your field of view. So to handle that, you need to move your lens further out to the side, to about here. All right, at this point, it just won't balance. Now then, there's a counterweight system that comes from Movi, which is meant to be great. And everything I checked said that the iPhone XR with a lens, you know, theoretically should counterbalance. But once you pop the counterbalance on and put the weights on, you have to move the phone so far out this way that there just isn't possible to put enough weight with the largest weight on here to balance that out. It just doesn't work. And I thought at first I thought it was me. So I was jet lagged in San Francisco, trying to do this in a hotel room at what seemed like my body felt like was 2 o'clock in the morning. And it just didn't work. And I thought, okay, so I used the gimbal for about 3 days with just the phone and without a lens, and it was fine. I brought it home. I went to talk to Mr. Audit. He's great at physics, he understands engineering, he pulled apart the counterweight system and tried to make it work, and we just needed more weight, so it just wasn't really possible. So what's the verdict? I love the concept of this gimbal. Like, it packs down really nicely, it locks away, it's intuitive to use, there's all these buttons and things that make it really easy to work with Filmic Pro, but I just can't get it to work with my phone. So I guess if you're not using the iPhone XR, or if phones are cheap, you can certainly keep the Movi. I could keep the Movi and change the phone. However, I'm on a contract for a certain number of years, so that's just not really possible. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to break up what I thought would be a great combination. They just don't work well together. The iPhone XR seems to be a great camera in terms of taking video, paired with the Moment makes it absolutely awesome. But these two combined, unfortunately, don't make a good match. So what are my alternatives? I shot a piece the other day. I managed to mount my phone onto my Zhiyun Crane Plus, which is what I normally use with my Sony a6500. That was a bit of a Frankenstein DIY rig job, but it works. It's pretty big. I don't think the DJI Osmo Mobile 3 is going to be any good because it's a 200 gram payload, plus or minus 30 grams, apparently, according to the website, phone gimbal. And this phone plus case plus lens combination is already close to 400 grams. The other option might be the Zhiyun Crane M2, which I've seen online. I've seen reviews of that. I've not seen anybody use like an iPhone XR with a Moment lens on there to see if it works. When those ship in Australia, I'll certainly be taking my phone down to a store to actually try that out. So if you were thinking about buying the cinema robot, unfortunately mine is going back in the post and I have to pay to ship it back to the US to get myself a refund. I'm really disappointed that I didn't love it, but it certainly is worth checking. I'd watched a lot of videos, but I guess I could have checked some forums before I'd made my purchase. I just assumed that based on a whole lot of tables and charts I read that it would work, but I'm disappointed that it doesn't, because this is a really great product. So, for those of you who've come just for the gimbal review, thanks for watching. For those of you who are my normal accounting audit viewers, hey, thanks for watching something new. This is not something that'll pop up all the time, but we'll be back to our regular accounting and auditing programming really soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.